Adolf Hitler's death brought an end to World War II and the end of one of the darkest periods in history. On April 30, 1945, Adolf Hitler and his newlywed wife Eva Braun committed suicide in an underground bunker in Berlin, Germany. In World War I, after Germany's humiliating defeat, Adolf Hitler promised to restore Germany to its former glory. Hitler saw himself as the savior of Germany. He wrote the book Mein Kampf. He said in the book that Germany's problems came from two enemies, France, which persecuted Germany throughout World War I, and the Jews, which tainted the pure Aryan race. In 1933, Hitler came to power. He became the Prime Minister of Germany. After coming to power, his Nazi party banned all other political parties, leaving no rivals, and soon became the supreme leader of Germany. In 1939, Hitler ignited World War II by invading Poland and subsequently invading other European nations. He eliminated political opponents and executed large numbers of Jews and began building brutal concentration camps. But in April 1945 the situation changed. Germany was in a precarious state. On the brink of defeat, and the end of Hitler is coming. The Soviets and other armies such as the American Army made their way toward Berlin. Several high-ranking commanders in the German army planned Hitler's assassination, hoping that if he died, he might be able to negotiate peace with the Allies. But the assassination plan failed. Hitler then ordered the execution of more than 4,000 Germans whom he suspected of being conspirators in assassinating him. But when Hitler suddenly disappears, American forces believe he may have fled and hid in the mountains of Bavaria. But in reality, he didn't leave Berlin but hid in a secret bunker 50 feet underground. The secret bunker is over 2,700 square feet, elegantly furnished, and equipped with clean water and electricity. This bunker protected Hitler and his allies from Allied bombs. However, due to health problems and the stress of war, his hair began to turn gray. He began to tremble uncontrollably and his eyesight began to deteriorate. Hitler decided to marry Eva Braun in a small ceremony in a bunker. The couple first met when she was just 17 when she was working in a photographic studio in Munich. They had been in a relationship for 16 years, hiding their relationship from the press, and Braun had always been loyal to Hitler. Before entering the wedding ceremony, Hitler ordered Braun to flee, but she refused to insist on dying by his side. As the enemy army drew closer and closer, Hitler ordered the German army to fight to the end. If any commander ordered the withdrawal of troops, there would be a death penalty. He didn't want to escape. He feared arrest more than death, because he had heard rumors that the Soviets wanted to lock him in a cage to march around Berlin. Hitler learned of the execution of Italian leader Benito Mussolini and that Mussolini's body had been vilified and humiliated by the public. So he intended to die by his own hands and have his corpse burned to the ground. April 29, 1945, Hitler arranged for his death by ordering his bodyguards to destroy his personal documents and to conduct cyanide experiments on his dog Blondie. In addition to being a drug test, another reason was that Hitler did not want Blondie to fall into the hands of the Soviets. This experiment worked very well. Blondie died as Hitler expected, but he was deeply saddened. The next morning, April 30, 1945, the Red Army was very close, almost above his bunker. His doctor tried to plead not to kill himself, but Hitler replied, "Doctor, you already know my decision. Nothing will change. You take your family away from Berlin." But his personal doctor refused to flee. After Hitler committed suicide, his personal physician killed his own family and committed suicide. Before he shot himself, Hitler shook hands with all the soldiers and said goodbye. He spoke to his adjutant in a calm voice. "I'm going to shoot myself and you know what to do." He then gave a Nazi salute, saying, "It's over, goodbye." Hitler and Braun locked themselves in a room, took a cyanide capsule, and Hitler shot themselves. On April 1, 1945, Hitler's death was announced, but the authorities, unwilling to state the fact that Hitler had committed suicide, declared that Hitler had died in the war as a frontline commander. After the deaths of both, those who were loyal to Hitler carried the bodies of the two out to a small garden outside the bunker. Amid the sound of gunfire surrounding them, their corpses were instantly cremated. Those close to Hitler demanded that their corpses be thoroughly destroyed, as they did not want Hitler's fragments to fall into enemy hands. But even so, the jawbone and teeth were still intact. The Soviet Union later announced that Hitler's body had not been found, but the Soviet military had seized his fragments, leading many to believe that he was not dead. There are a variety of conspiracy theories. Some say that he fled to live in a cave on a mountain in Italy. Some reports saw him at a casino in France. In 2018, a French scientist it was proved that Hitler was actually dead in 1945 by examining his teeth kept by the Soviet authorities. To this day, Adolf Hitler's death is a milestone and one of the most famous deaths in history.